Hey, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Tropicalnhl back at it again for a brand new YouTube video. Well, I say back at it again. It's been a while, but yeah, this morning breaking news in the world of the Montreal Canadiens as a trade happened. A trade happened. You know, the trade deadline is coming. The first domino got run over yesterday or a couple of days ago with the Elias Lindholm trade to Vancouver, and a lot of people were speculating about Sean Monahan, what was going to happen with Sean Monahan and the Montreal Canadiens. Well, it happened. It just happened this morning, as reported by Elliot Friedman and Pierre Lebrun. Sean Monahan got traded to the Winnipeg Jets, and the return is pretty interesting. I know a lot of people were expecting maybe a prospect like Brad Lambert when they heard the name of the Winnipeg Jets. McGrody as well was associated with the Canadiens a lot, but that was never going to happen. I mean, those two are most likely untouchables for the Winnipeg Jets. I know there were a couple of prospects here and there, maybe a Colby Barlow, that could have made a tiny bit of sense. But I don't think the objective for the Montreal Canadiens was ever to acquire a prospect. I think that they were focused on draft picks, and that's what they got in return of Sean Monahan. As you can see on the screen right now, is reported by Elliot Friedman. Sean Monahan going from Montreal to Winnipeg for a first-round pick and a conditional pick. We still have no information about what that conditional pick is, but if I can use my logic for this one, I'd say it's probably linked to Sean Monahan's past with injury. Depending on how many games he plays, the pick will get better. Can it become a second rounder? It's a possibility. But yeah, the condition probably has to do with how many games Sean Monahan will play for the Winnipeg Jets, judging by his past with injuries. That's the logical thing for me, I think. And yeah, it will be interesting to see what is the best case scenario for that conditional pick. Can it become a second rounder? That could be pretty interesting. But yeah, I'll put an update on the pinned comment regarding that conditional pick when the information will come. So yeah, I know a lot of people will probably be disappointed because they expected a prospect. But yeah, like I said, I don't think it was ever the plan for the Montreal Canadiens to go after a prospect in that type of deal. I think that they want to stack on draft pick and not necessarily to draft players. I think that the Montreal Canadiens have a particular plan in mind. Can't use Jeff Gorton, and I already talked about it multiple times. I think that they want to acquire the more assets possible, like draft picks, for example, to kind of make a huge boom at some point during their rebuild. Would it be this summer? Would it be next summer? I have no idea, but I think that at some point the Montreal Canadiens will try to acquire a big guy, a big superstar, a big name via the trade market. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're stacking on picks, because when a team is entering a rebuild, when a team is trying to get rid of their superstars, like a lot of teams do at some point, you need to go to rebuilds when you are not as competitive as you were before. Some superstars will get available, just like a Jack Eichel happened a couple of years ago with the Buffalo Sabres. It will happen at some point. A superstar will be made available via the trade market, and the Montreal Canadiens will have assets to negotiate and try and make a trade happen with all the prospects they already have. They're stacked on defensive prospects. They have a couple of great depth prospects as well in the forward position, and with all the draft picks that they have at the moment, it makes it possible for them to make a big deal. They already traded for guys like Kirby Dach, Alex Newhook in the past, and I think that's what the plan is for Kent Hughes, to acquire a big guy, a big offensive guy. It's either to do it via a trade like that, with assets like prospects and picks, or to sign one via free agency. I don't think the plan was ever to draft the superstar forward, because if that would have been the plan, they wouldn't have drafted David Reinbacher in the latest NHL entry draft. They would have went for a guy like Zach Benson, Ryan Leonard, or even Matvei Mishkov. So that what makes me believe that most likely they're stacking on picks to make a trade happen at some point for a big player to make a huge boom and maybe cement their top six. And yeah, that's my personal opinion on it. I think that's why they didn't went for prospects. It happened quicker than I expected. When the Lindholm trade happened, I was just like, all right, Sean Monahan is the best center at the moment on the trade market. He has around the same statistics as a guy like John Tavares. And yeah, he has a really, really great contract at 1.8, I think it was. The Canadiens aren't retaining any salary on that trade, by the way. So yeah, they still have a slot to retain salary from now to the trade deadline if they want to make another trade happen, like for a David Savard, for example. It will be really, really interesting to follow. But yeah, Sean Monahan is now a Winnipeg Jets. What will happen next for the Canadiens? I mean, it's a huge blow for them, and it probably will help a lot their position at the next draft. I mean, Sean Monahan played on the PK. Sean Monahan was winning faceoff. Sean Monahan was playing on the power play. Sean Monahan had 12 points in his last 8 games. So the Canadiens are losing a big, big piece to their season, and it's probably not going to help them win games since the end of the season. I said at the start of the year that if Sean Monahan was going to be healthy, the Canadiens would be better than expected. Now that he's gone, I think that the Canadiens are going to lose a lot more games from now to the end of the season. It's going to be hard to watch, that's for sure, but it's good for our draft rankings. So yeah, it's going to be a heck of a difficult end of a season, and there's probably more trades that are going to come. In my opinion, I think like a guy like David Savard will probably interest a lot of teams. He already won a Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning in a similar position. So I think that if another guy gets traded, it's most likely going to be David Savard. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Jake Allen as well. But yeah, for the Canadiens, Sean Monahan was a huge piece. Sean Monahan was an important piece to this team. And for him to leave, it sucks for the team. They're going to struggle, but we got some good assets. I mean, we got a first rounder coming from the Flames to take on his contract, and now we trade him for another first rounder. That's some amazing asset management coming from Kent Hughes and Montreal Canadiens. A lot of people were laughing when I first said it on the channel. I said, oh, you never know. If Sean Monahan can bounce back, they can get another first rounder for him. I wouldn't be surprised. People called me an idiot in the comments. You can go rewatch that video when it happened. But it did happen. Sean Monahan is with the Jets. The Canadiens got a second first-round pick for him. They have 2 first-round picks coming from that move. That's amazing. Amazing by the Canadiens. So, yeah, that's my personal opinion. Big W on that. Will Sean Monahan come back with the Habs this summer? I know a lot of people talked about that. Oh, he's a free agent. He's going to be a free agent. Maybe he'll come back to the Habs. I doubt it will happen. I think he's either going to re-sign with the Winnipeg Jets or he's going to go sign to a team that has a chance to make him win a Stanley Cup. I don't think he's going to come back. I think he played his last game ever for the Montreal Canadiens. Sucks because I really like the person and the player overall. But that's part of hockey, and the Montreal Canadiens got some really good assets coming from it. And it's going to be really useful in no time for them, that first round pick. So yeah, let me know what you guys all think about this in the comments below. It's been your boy, Tropical NHL. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.